Division is really easy too. You would think that division would be something different, but if you remember back to grade school, when you go to divide fractions, like if I did, 1/2 divided by, 3/4, your teacher always said, well, don't divide 1/2 by 3/4, just multiply by its reciprocal. So instead of dividing by 3/4, your teacher told you, just multiply by its reciprocal. Flip the fraction around and now it's multiplication. So what we can do is essentially with the division problems is just change them to multiplication, and it's the exact same thing we did before. So I can change this. Let's flip this around. So I'm going to put the x squared minus 4 on the top and the x squared minus 3x minus 4 on the bottom. And so we don't get confused. Let's cross that out so we don't, that doesn't influence us in any way. And now this is a giant multiplication problem. And I just go about solving it the way I did before and factoring wherever possible. Now the one thing that we haven't seen before until now is something like this, where it's x minus 2 squared. But if you remember when we did this before, earlier in the semester, x minus 2 squared just simply means that there's two of them, x minus 2 and x minus 2. Okay, that's not there anymore now. And then we factor. On the top right, we have a difference of squares. So this is x plus 2 and x minus 2. The bottom right here is going to factor what multiplies to be negative 4 and adds to be negative 3 is x minus 4 and x plus 1. And we go about canceling things wherever we can. So I do have an x minus 2. That's going to cancel with an x minus 2 on the top. I have an x minus 4. That'll cancel with an x minus 4 on the bottom. And now that looks like that's really all I can do. So my solution, the only thing that's on top is the x plus 2. And on the bottom I have an x minus 2 and an x plus 1. So really, in summary, division and multiplication are the same thing. You just have to remember that in division you have to flip the fraction and change it to multiplication. Now sometimes they look all weird and funny. Like they'll look like number 2 here. It's the same thing. You got, this looks crazy. But basically you have x plus 2 squared over x minus 3 divided by x squared minus 4 divided by x minus 3. So if we just sort of, move this over here, what this really is saying is this divided by the x squared minus 4 over x minus 3 squared. That's this whole part here. Okay, get rid of that. And you would go about your business. You would flip this around and factor wherever possible and cancel anything out. So that's really it. That's multiplication, and that's division.